Welcome back to the court of the Edijester. Good morning, good people. 'Tis Sunday. Roast. Having a roast. Listen, I hope you're okay. I don't know whether you saw it the other day. Let's talk about Bridget Phillipson and what this dreadful government. Could the left be hated anymore right now? I don't know. So let's have a conversation about Bridget Phillipson, first off, and secondly, about the left. First thing, I was watching something the other day, and Bev from LGBT Alliance was talking about her position in a conversation with somebody, and I put underneath, the left that you are talking about, Bev, your left, is dead. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And there seems to be an awful lot of us that just won't let it go. They're gone. This idea of the left that you think it is. You're either orientated towards freedom or you're orientated towards authoritarianism. It's that simple. Left and right. Does it actually mean anything any longer? Anyway, that isn't the point of today. So the point of today is that this idea of the left is something that people are beginning to despise. And this particularly interesting article from the Telegraph talks about retirees despise Labour. Now, for better or for worse, the vast majority of people that are involved in this fight that we're all involved in against DEI, EDI, gender, and all the rubbish that comes with it are old or older. For those of us that are still holding on to that particular idea. Because it goes from, because, somebody will say to me, well, you're older than I am. That's what they used to say years ago. Now they say, well, you're old. And I'm like, slap, 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 slap. Say that again. Sorry, you're older. Right? So I don't know when, but it happens. Might be the appearance of the first grey pube. I don't know. Right. Okay. Anyway, so I've got an interesting article, the Telegraph here. This is from the 16th of February, and it's anonymous because it's a letter from somebody who's a retiree. And it says here, God help us, the letter that spells out exactly why retirees despise Labour. Our writer is determined to stop the government from taking his hard-earned money. So it's a guy, right? That's a random guy. That's not the guy. In the letter below, sent to Telegraph Money, our writer describes how the government's inheritance tax raid on pensions punishes years of hard work and serves an unsustainable welfare system. I couldn't agree longer. I couldn't agree any more. As a proud Englishman, I have spent my life, having been born in a council house, working. I am now in my early 70s and am still working and paying huge taxes to the government, as I've always done with honesty. I have run a small business since the late 80s. I was encouraged to open a SIP, weren't we all? Self-invested personal pension many years ago, and paid into this knowing that should I die and anything remained, my children would inherit the pot exempt from any inheritance tax that my estate would be liable to. For this reason, I have kept working at my small business and paying, as mentioned before, high taxes that have supported a welfare system I rarely have had access to. I am by no means rich, but I have worked hard for what I have saved. Is this ringing a bell with any of you? I imagine it is, because it certainly rings one with me. What this new government has done is literally steal my descendants' inheritance. There could be a large amount remaining in my pot if I keep working, but they've taken away my desire to carry on working, as I'm sure they have done to others. So true. Doctors, surgeons, among many others, they need to achieve their dreams. This is so true. They're cutting the legs off the very people that they're purporting is going to help them put the country right. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. But managed decline is maybe what it is, and that's what they want, our descent into mediocrity. You would certainly think so from what they're doing with the school's curriculum and messing around with attempting to give everybody equity. The letter continues. They do not appear to understand what a working man's life is actually all about. Have they ever had to get their slimy, money-grabbing hands dirty? I very much doubt it. As I have read before in a letter on this subject in your paper, I could pass away in a couple of years, and this appalling bunch of idiots would take a massive slice of what is not theirs to give to others. Many that have no right to be in this country, or have a right to my family's potential inheritance, or have in fact never worked and are using the system that has been built up over years to support them on permanent breaks. There are those that need help, but most of what I observe makes me feel that our welfare system has become a free-for-all that many may decide to use to their advantage. My hard-earned money will be salted away by a totally blind government to support those people, a minority of this country who no doubt voted them in. There is no harm in being wealthier than the average person, but the socialism we are suffering appears to see that differently. I will make every effort to empty my pension, and quickly, to the point that I will leave nothing for these idiots to take. I started a pension, lost an awful lot of it when things crashed. It never really recovered. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get out a lump sum, I think, if I can do it. I think you have to be 60, so I'm all right now. I can get it out, and then I'm going to take more year by year by year, which I can take tax-free, and then these swine aren't going to get any of my money. Even though I have not paid into the pot for years, he's talking here and continuing to talk about his pension, it has grown. But I cannot simply keep paying income tax to the government. I need to spend what I've accumulated. They have lost this income, and as most of my clients are from overseas, they have also lost overseas funds in the UK. Now, it's interesting because there was also Bridget Phillipson saying, I want a saving society like they've got in America. I don't understand this government. And we don't need a saving society, actually. What we need is to get some liquidity into the economy, get people spending some money. So I'm with this guy. Let's spend it. Sod it. They have lost their income, and as most of my clients are from overseas, they've also lost overseas funds into the UK. I have already purchased a home for one of my children. I will ensure that pot, as I empty it, will go to providing my children with the homes that I promised them and outlive the 7-year rule. That 7-year rule needs to go. I have other means of removing my pension and passing it on, but it will disappear from their grubby hands. Eventually, if I live long enough, I will have no money left. At this point, I will claim all of the benefits that I can and hope that my children also support me. Rachel Reeves and her cohorts have indeed thrown acid into the faces of entrepreneurs that have been the lifeblood of this country for so long. If I were young, would I wish to start a business here? I do believe it would be stupid to do so when governments can steal from its citizens as they feel fit. I still cannot believe that a system is set up to encourage the people that work to have a pension that would take them away from reliance on the state, only to see its promises stolen at the stroke of a pen. Can it be legal? Surely not. I have many friends that have also been hit hard by this, many through years of hard work believing that their money was safe. Some had built their pensions by keeping the property they own and other assets in their fund. They are moving out of this country to live abroad in disgust. How long will this government last? The jobless numbers will go through the roof. Prices will also. Inflation will take off again. They are proposing new infrastructure spending. Billions of pounds they do not have. Like a drowning man clutching at straws. I live amongst a farming community. The hate here towards the government is profound. None of this new spending will affect them. All they will see is the destruction of an industry that has survived for centuries in its present form, destroyed by ignorant people who have nothing but envy and are in denial of the countryside and how it exists, and will destroy anybody that has made a good fist of their lives. God help us. I think it's a brilliant letter. You want to know where the left is, Bev? This is the left. Envy. Covetousness. Insanity. Cultural relativism. Moral relativism. They're a disgusting bunch. It's sad, because I talk to people that are left-leaning, and they're like, I don't know where I am anymore. They don't represent me. They don't represent you. The left is dead. But then on the other hand, so is the right. Remember, do you orientate towards freedom or do you orientate towards authoritarianism? This is a question that I think will be coming up again and again and again over the next few years. And those of you that are intent on anything that requires the state to interfere or get bigger, you better have a damn good argument, because I want to see them stripped to the bone until I use them just like I would use the post office. Thanks very much for watching. Go talk about it. I'll put the links in the doobries, as per usual. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.